Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be ranking all 10 games that I beat this summer, the summer of 2026. And I will say, in terms of beating video games and getting through my backlog, I'd say it was a pretty productive summer. And so let's get right into it. Please like and subscribe and comment what games you beat this summer and which ones were your favorite. All right, well, let's get right into it. So number 10 would be First Light 007 James Bond. So this wasn't a bad game, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. None of these games are bad. They're all good to a certain extent. I would just say that out of all 10 games that I beat this summer, 007 for me was the weakest and the one I enjoyed the least. However, it does have some pretty redeeming qualities. I think the guy that played James Bond did a great job, and they should just cast him for the movies as well because he was that good. And the characters were all pretty cool. I loved Greenway; he was another great character, and the story was pretty good. However, the gameplay, it left a lot to be desired for me personally. I remember I played this right after I played another game on this list, Mafia 3, which will be later on down in the list. But I remember Mafia 3 having really good gunplay, and I just enjoyed like how it felt to play Mafia 3, like in terms of definitely the gunplay. For 007, I didn't really enjoy the gunplay as much as a James Bond game's gunplay should be. So that was disappointing. And just a lot of the stealth gameplay in general, I don't really care for stealth in video games for the most part. It has to be either really, really simple to understand and just easy to do, and or I don't know, it just has to be optional for me to really like not mind it. But 007, it was fine. Like, I'd give it like a 007 out of 10. Okay. Number 9 would be Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. And this was also a good game. Again, none of these games are bad. It's just that, I don't know, just compared to the rest of the games on this list, Lego Batman is just not as. I'd rather play the rest of the games on this list than Lego Batman. But it was pretty good. It was very, fun to see all the movies in Lego Batman form and play through all those cool scenes from the movies that they included in the games. And it was fine. And I was thinking about going back and trying to 100% or getting the platinum after I beat it, but I never ended up doing it. I might in the future, but it's a fun game and definitely like good turn off your brain kind of game. So yeah, Lego Batman number 9. Number 8 would be Donkey Kong Bonanza. This was the first game I got for my Nintendo Switch 2, and it was good. It was good. Again, none of these games are bad. It's just that the destructibility of all the different levels, it kind of, I don't know, it took a while to get used to because I like everything to be like very concrete and like in its place and intentional in a game. And if like I can just go around and destroy everything in a level, then it's just, I don't know. I'm not like huge on that, especially for the type of game it is. Like, I know like a lot of like destruction and like even some like war first person shooter multiplayer games have destructibility and it works to their benefit. But for Donkey Kong Bonanza, like, I'd rather a 3D platformer, like everything, like every platform be intentional and like you can't destroy it. Like, it's meant to be, platformed on, jumped on, and I mean, it was hard to get used to at first, but after a bit, I finally like I got used to it, and I actually ended up getting really into the game by the end, and it was fun. Like, it was a struggle to get through, like, because I just didn't really care for the destructibility at first, but I got used to it, and I actually ended up enjoying it by the end. So Donkey Kong Bonanza, it's a fun time. I'm still looking forward to whatever 3D Mario they got cooking up for the Switch 2. We'll see what that is, and hopefully it'll come soon. But yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza number 8. Number 7 is Final Fantasy IX. So this might upset some people because to a lot of Final Fantasy fans, this is like their favorite Final Fantasy game. And I've seen this game have this almost untouchable status where you can't critique it because it's just that good, it's that perfect, and it's just a masterpiece in every way. That's what I've always heard. It's a lot of people's favorite. And I will say this game has a whole lot good going for it. Like, it was very beautiful, very artistic, and the music was fine. It just, I'd say it wasn't like as memorable as like a lot of other Final Fantasy soundtracks. Some of the characters like Vivi and Steiner were really cool and awesome, and it was good. Like, I don't know. I think it might have played it a little too safe, and it tried to do a little too much, especially with its thematic elements and like message. Like, in the end, like, no spoilers at all, I think it tries to say too much, and in the end it didn't really like stick for me too well. Everything going on with Vivi and his whole character development and character arc and the message of his story was beautiful. Everything else was pretty forgettable in my opinion. But I will say, like, the middle 2 quarters of the game, I could not put the game down at all. Like, I just wanted to keep playing it. Everything else about the game was either, all right for a Final Fantasy game, or it was a little too overbaked with its thematic elements and messaging. But Final Fantasy IX, it's still a good game. Again, number 7. Number 6 is Shenmue 1. Shenmue 1 is a classic old video game where it's kind of open world. It came before Grand Theft Auto 3, and it's made by the same guy who made Virtua Fighter. He wanted to make like a very like cinematic like gaming experience, and I will say, like, Shenmue is very cinematic, very beautiful, and it's honestly kind of engaging and immersive in its own way, because you just, to really get into the game and like play it and enjoy it, like, you do have to like immerse yourself in it somewhat and play a role. I mean, the main character, he has his own story, but you're in his shoes, like you're in his everyday life trying to figure out like the whole crime that he's trying to solve and avenge. And Shenmue 1, it's pretty janky, and it has not aged well, really, like, at all. However, I don't know, there is just something about the game that was just so charming that I also could not stop playing it, and I just wanted to keep playing it, because I don't know, just like the fact that it is so old and so janky made me kind of want to like overcome like all its jank and get through the game and see it through to the end. And a lot of the combat was very like fighting gamey, and I don't really like fighting games that much, but like, I don't know, I just kind of, it wasn't a huge part of the game, so I just kind of got through it, and I would just button mash, not gonna lie. But the game was really immersive, and the story was really good, even though it's not technically over, because it continues on in Shenmue 2 and 3, and if they make 4 and so on and so forth. But it was good. It was really good. Very beautiful game with great music as well, and it's at number 6. Number 5 is Mafia: The Old Country. Mafia: The Old Country came out last year. It's kind of a sleeper hit, hidden gem of 2025, and I played this at the end of my playthroughs of all 4 Mafia games, because I played through every single one of them. 1 and 2 I played in the spring, so they will not be on this list, but I loved Mafia 1 and Mafia 2. Mafia 3, it has its issues, but honestly I think it's pretty underrated, and it has a lot more good going for it than bad, if you ask me. And Mafia: The Old Country, it is good. It's really good, and it's beautiful, and the characters they get the job done for the story that this game's trying to tell, for the most part. I'm not the biggest fan of the ending to this game. Of course, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I don't know, I think the ending just felt very modern gamey. Like, it was also like trying to do a little too much for its own good. I love like how the endings to Mafia's, like, I'd say the endings to the previous 3 Mafia games, Mafia's 1 through 3, were all way better. Even 3's ending was cool, I thought. And I will say the story, like, overall, even though I'm not a fan of the ending, the story was really, really, really good. Especially in like the third, like, before the very last like act of the game, there's like the big like climax of the game. I'm not going to say what happens, but the game gets so crazy in its story that it's like insane, and I could not put it down. And the story, it gets really, really, really good. I'm not going to say too much, but it's a very cool game and very beautiful, and it was fun to play through. And besides the ending, like, I don't really have anything like too negative to say about it or anything. Like, it's Mafia the old country. It's good. It's Mafia the peak country. Anyway, number 4 is Final Fantasy 3. So I had the pixel remaster of Final Fantasy 3, not the one that's technically 6, but like the actual 3. And it was good. It was a really good classic 2D pixel Final Fantasy game, and I really enjoyed playing it, especially with the pixel remaster. It was really good, and I had a great time getting through it, and I just could not stop playing it because, it just had that classic like 2D Final Fantasy flavor that I'm always loving and always down for. And Final Fantasy 3, it was so good, and yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about Final Fantasy 3. It was great. You could probably hear my cat right now. Say hi. Anyway, all right, number 3 on this list is Mafia 3, and that might come as a shock to many of you, especially to my friend Unholy from the Totally Two-Wheeler Jonathan Discord server, because me putting Mafia 3 at number 3 on this list above the Old Country would mean that I actually like Mafia 3 more than the Old Country. And honestly, in reflection and with time having passed, I kind of do. Like, Mafia 3, okay, the story itself, the main story, it doesn't have like a lot going on in it as much as it should, because the story is about Lincoln Clay, and he's a very like tragic character who like turns into like basically the Punisher, and it's set in this like kind of New Orleans type city in Louisiana, and I thought that was just so cool, especially since it takes place in the 1960s, I think. Yep. And it's so awesome. It's a great revenge story. I just think like the game should have more set pieces and just more memorable leaders to kill. And I don't know, I think the DLCs to this game, if they were added to the main story, this game might go from like 8 out of 10 to like almost a 9.5 for me, because it would add so much like more memorability to the game. But the game is saved by its fun factor, because I think the gameplay to Mafia 3 is really, really, really good and very underrated. The gunplay is really, really good, and I was very satisfied with it. And so even though the game did get very repetitive, to a certain point, like, I would get sick of it, but at the same time I couldn't put it down, because like I just loved like, just taking out people in this game, because it was so fun playing as Lincoln, and the driving is really fun, the gunplay is really good, and again, I like the ending to this game. There's technically multiple endings, but like the best ending like is really good, and I don't know, I really like Mafia 3, and I have a lot of good feelings for it, and so it's number 3. Mafia 3 at number 3. Okay, so number 2 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I did actually get it whenever it came out 2 years ago in 2024, and I played through about half of it, and then I quit because I don't know. There's so much to do in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I was trying to do everything, even though it was my first playthrough, and the game, I don't know. I think I got burnt out on it, and it got like overwhelming for me, and the fact that I was only halfway through the story and I put so much time into it, like I needed a break from it, and I did not end up coming back to it until this year, this summer. I saw the announcement of Final Fantasy VII Revelation, and I saw the trailer at Summer Games Fest, and I was like, you know what? I need to beat Rebirth. And so I went back and I played through the rest of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I didn't really do much of the side content. I just beelined it from where I had left off to the end of the story, and even though I did that, like I still had a lot of fun, and the game and the story mode was just really, really good. And honestly, it gets really crazy with this storytelling, and I wasn't a fan of it in the moment, but on reflection, like the story to this game is like so thematic, but like I don't know, I kind of liked it, and I liked the way it did its like over the top, like convoluted narrative, and especially its ending. No spoilers at all, but it gets really, really, really just all over the place and crazy. But I don't know, I kind of liked it, and like it was fitting because Final Fantasy VII Remake did the exact same thing with its ending. I wasn't a fan of it doing it then, but now, like for Rebirth, it's kind of what I expected, and I don't know, I kind of liked it, and I kind of dug it on reflection, and I would definitely replay this game, even though it's really long, and I definitely want to go back and do all the side stuff at some point. I did a good chunk of it, but I want to do all of it, and maybe even get the platinum, which I've heard is like one of the hardest platinums ever, especially for Final Fantasy games. I don't know, it's a great game. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, what can I say? It's amazing. All right, so that was my number 2. So you're probably thinking, what is the best game I played this summer? The best game I played this summer was Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. And to some of you who are knowledgeable of Final Fantasy VIII, you might be like, really? Final Fantasy VIII is the best game you played this summer. And I'm here to tell you that that is the case. Final Fantasy VIII, I was skeptical because I had heard a lot of bad things about the game, like long before I'd played it, about how the characters leave a lot to be desired, and the story apparently wasn't very good, and the junction system is the worst thing ever, and this and that, and da, 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 da. So I had pretty low expectations going into the game, but I was like in a mood where I wanted to play the game in a way that I would enjoy it, and I had heard about how you could break the junction system to make your characters overpowered, and that's one of the things I love doing in video games, is making myself, my character, like my party, basically gods, and just like absolutely like dominating through a game. I don't know why, like I love playing my games that way. I know a lot of people like to like struggle and like are very like masochistic when it comes to the games, and I couldn't be like more different. I'm like the exact opposite. Like I love like absolutely like dominating and destroying in my single player games, and like just, I don't know, just doing really good. And so I did my research and I watched many videos, and I ended up breaking Final Fantasy VIII on my first playthrough, and absolutely like basically having a cracked out playthrough of Final Fantasy VIII, where like I was destroying everything that was coming my way as Squall and his party, and I was just playing the game to basically essentially just enjoy the story. And I'm going to be really honest with you all, Final Fantasy VIII has probably one of my favorite stories in all of gaming, because like on its surface and like just the story itself I think is really good, but I think the whole mystery of the story and all the crypticness, especially when it comes to that one theory about Squall, which I won't get into because it's kind of a spoiler if I say what the theory's about. You could look it up if you feel inclined to, but the whole mystery behind that is really cool, and I just love Squall as a character. I know a lot of people don't, but I don't know. At first he seems very like emo into himself and stuff, but like by the end he's like forced to like become a leader, and he's like really good at it. And we've all been in situations where like we've had to be forced into leadership positions, and I really relate to that. And so yeah, I love Squall's character. I really liked all the characters, if I'm being real. Like they all have their own quirks, and they're all funny and entertaining, and like just, I don't know, there's cool characters. The villains were really cool. Cypher, Ultimacia, Adia, they're really cool, and the art style and the FMV, oh my goodness, the FMVs to this game, the full motion videos, which are basically like the really like high budget cutscenes that look like animated movies over a video game. They were spectacular and like so beautiful. Like if I just watched the Final Fantasy VIII FMVs stitched all together as one big movie, I would still be satisfied, because they're just so stunning, and it's just, I don't know, they're so good. Like just the cinematic elements of Final Fantasy VIII alone is great, but I also love the music. The music's amazing. It's so good. I think every other day, or sometimes even every day, like the Balam Garden theme is like stuck in my head, and I'll just like hum it to myself. And I don't know, just Final Fantasy VIII. I ended up really liking the junction system because I understood it after watching a bunch of tutorial videos on it. Like the game doesn't really do a good job of explaining it on its own, but like, I don't know, I did my homework for the game basically, and I made it to where I could enjoy Final Fantasy VIII, and it was all the better for it. And what's the card game? Triple Triad. Almost said Tetramaster, which is the Final Fantasy IX card game, but Triple Triad in Final Fantasy VIII is really, really fun card game. Very simple but fun, and I love playing that as well. And I almost got the platinum for Final Fantasy VIII, but I got soft locked out of one of the trophies, which was pretty tragic. But I'll probably go back and get that trophy again at some point, and then finally get the platinum. But even with that, I'd still say that Final Fantasy VIII is the best game I played this summer, and one of my new favorite video games. Specifically the remaster version, because it does have some boosters that you could use to get through the game, which I would recommend for Final Fantasy VIII, because the game will like punish you just for playing it normally, which is why a lot of people hate it, which I understand. But again, I did my homework, and I knew what to do, and I knew what I was getting myself into. So Final Fantasy VIII is number one for me. And thank you all for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed. And go ahead and tell me down below what were the best games that you played this summer, or are still playing. Of course, summer, we still got a few weeks left. Enjoy while it lasts, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.